Hey everyone, I'm Mark,
I'm Gonzo.
and today we're talking about Candlekeep Mysteries, Buy or Not Buy. This is the new book that just came out, and we're pretty excited. We got our hands on it, and we're going to talk about it just a bit. So, first of all, Gonzo, what makes a good book that you would want to actually put your hard-earned money in and
Right.
purchase? What are you looking for in that kind of book?
Okay, Mark. Yeah, there's this book just came out. We're excited about it. But why are we excited? Well, let's talk about it. There's two different kinds of books, adventure books,
Right.
that Wizards of the Coast puts out often, and that is these anthology books like you have in front of you, like Icewind, Rime of the Frost Maiden, or Tomb of Annihilation, Curse of Strahd, and these are very well done. A lot of great artwork. A ton of work goes into them, but they do require a dungeon master to also put in a ton of work. You need to read the whole thing through so you can see where plot line A goes to plot line B and all of that.
Right.
And it does take a lot of prep. And then there's other books that they put out like Tales of the Yawning Portal, Ghost of Saltmarsh, and now the new one, Candlekeep Mysteries, where it's a group of short adventures that you can take one or use all of them if you'd like and bring them into your group and run them. So I personally enjoy this kind better. And let's talk about Candlekeep Mysteries and what are some of the criteria that I'm looking for in a book of short adventures.
Speaking of what makes a really good character to play, the Warlock, of course, make sure you subscribe and make sure that you comment down below. What are some of the things you're looking for when you're purchasing these books? Go ahead, Gonzo.
All right.
What's the criteria?
The criteria. So, three things I'm looking for. One is that it's got to be able to be adaptable to, as a dungeon master, and this happens often. So, a lot of us start as dungeon masters on maybe something that's pre-written.
Sure.
It's easier for us. The stuff is in there ready for us
Yeah.
to use. And that's great as a dungeon master. But it's not long before you start to want to run your own campaign, create your own world with its own adventures.
I can do it better.
Yeah, I mean, we all think that as dungeon masters, right?
Yeah.
So so these kind of books help quite a bit because what they provide are short adventures,
Right.
maybe 2 to 5 page, adventures, and everything in that adventure is already pre-done for you. So the stat blocks are done, the treasure you're giving, the plot hook even for that. And what I look for in adventures that are created by Wizards of the Coast on these kind of books is something that you can easily adapt to your overarching campaign that you're already running.
Okay.
So if I'm running some kind of Dark Sun scenario or something that's a little more gritty, I'm looking for an adventure that I could fit in or adapt it to fit into my overarching campaign. Or even better, maybe I can tie one of these short adventures to the backstory of one of my players.
Right.
And then they're even more engaged in it. So that's one of the first things I'm looking for. Second thing is it scalable by level? Now, I know you've looked at this, and I'll ask you in a second, but your character is going to be different levels at different times, and you want a story that you can pull in but isn't too easy for them or too difficult. A lot of times as a DM, you can scale them up or down by limiting lowering the DC on some of the things they have to do, or raising the amount of foes that they fight, that kind of thing. So you can do a lot of the work yourself, but some of these are written in a way where they already tell you, hey, this is built basically for levels 3 to 4 or 6 to 8, whatever. And so you can say, oh, I'll use that.
Yeah.
And then the third thing I'm looking for, or third reason I would enjoy a book like this, is that as a dungeon master, oftentimes we have game nights coming, we're ready to go, except we're not ready to go. We just didn't have time to prep. Life gets in the way. So you can easily grab one of these and you've got something that'll fill up a night or even two, and the players are still having fun, and as long as you adapt it to your game, they're bought in. They wouldn't know any difference, So I like it. Or if you just need a break from your overarching campaign and you want to do something completely different, and maybe the players want to create a new player for something, just to get a change of pace for something you've been running for months, if not years.
Right.
So my question to you is, of those three ingredients, how did Candlekeep Mysteries do?
I think it hit on all of those. I would say the adaptable part, they're definitely adaptable. You definitely could make it fit into your story. There are enough different, and some are widely different.
Yeah.
And there's a good variety here, which a lot of these some of the older ones are kind of the old variety of dungeon-y, kind of the old school kind of thing, because a lot of these honestly are remakes of old ones. But this is there's very widely different settings and things, so it makes it really great to grab and see if there's something that'll fit into your story that you already have. That's nice. And so that's a good thing. Scale by level. The idea, they actually tell you what level, and each one is for one level, which is kind of unusual. Usually these have a range. But
so
this
how
one,
many? There's 17?
17, I think it is.
Yeah.
So 16 or 17.
Yeah.
I know it goes to level 16. So the first one is like level 1, and the next one they have another one's level 2. And honestly, one thing that's kind of cool about it is you could do each one individually and just run a one-night thing. Or if you really want to run through the whole book, you could do that. And they have an overarching thing, which is that you find this Candlekeep, which is a big giant library, and in these books, each book takes you to a different place. So that's kind of the hub that all of these things go to. So you could grab it, and if you like, I will just run my players through the whole thing. You could do that. That is one avenue. But I personally would like the fact that I can just pull those out. So, but it is scalable. And no time to prepare. These are really well put together. Good. I mean, they have everything in there. Great artwork, which is something we always like to see too. And
maps. How about maps?
They've got maps. Each one has a nice little map for it. They have a big map in the back of Candlekeep if you're going to be the one that runs it through the whole thing, which is, I don't know. I'd like to kind of know what percentage. If down in the comments, is that something you'd want to do? Would you want to maybe run through the whole thing or just take pieces out of it? We'd be kind of curious to know that, but. I like that, and they got some cool monsters and things in there. I could see like if you didn't even use the adventures, there's some great monsters and NPCs and things that are in there that you could pull out and use. I mean, they have a were-raven. How cool is that?
That's cool.
Yeah, so it has some cool things in there, and so that I think it really nails it. I think it's worth buying, and I think it's something that every DM would want to have on their shelf because they could just grab it and use something out of it on the fly or use it to plan something. But I honestly think it's very well done. I think one thing that we've not said is these are all originals. These are not remakes. This is new content.
That's key. I think.
I do. I think this is, we've gone back in. A lot of these are just remakes. This, obviously Icewind Dale's not. Well, it kind of is and kind of isn't. It harkens back to old style, but it's something new. And I think that's kind of cool. We do need more content. We were talking about before this, the old days, we used to get these modules that they would come out with, and this book is just a bound version of a bunch of different modules.
Just pull one out, use it.
Yeah. So it's very cool, and honestly, I tell people this all the time. Like, this is an amazing hobby where it really doesn't cost much. I mean, these books are not that expensive. And you don't really have to buy them and have dice and all. And for this, the value alone, I think, is really great. I mean, you can get these from $30 to $50 depending where you buy them.
Right.
It's good value.
And if you're a player, we didn't want to spoil anything. There's some really cool, like Mark said, really cool new monsters, new treasure items, and things that are. We didn't want to give you any of the spoilers away. But if you're a dungeon master, I think. Or if you're planning to be a dungeon master, this may be a great book to start off with as far as where do I start to building my campaign. Maybe this is the book you pick up. So is it a buy or not? I think we both say it's a buy.
Definitely a buy. Yeah, I give it. If I give it a letter grade, the teacher in me, I would definitely give it an A.
Awesome.
I think it's an A. I don't know about an A plus. I hold that back.
You gotta wait for perfection.
Perfect.
Wait till our book comes out.
That's right. But it definitely is very well done, and good job, Wizards, coming out with this. And it's got several different writers, by the way. I think everyone's a different writer, so that's why their styles are very different.
And with that, Mark,
class dismissed.